Dvid Duval won the biggest prize in golf, the Open Championship in 2001. He stood on top of Royal Lytham holding the famous Claret Jug. At that moment, it looked like nothing could stop his career. He was ranked third in the world and had 13 tour wins. But what followed was nothing short of a tragic spiral that shocked the golf world. But after that victory, everything changed for Duval. His career fell off a cliff completely. To understand Dvid Duval's story, we need to go back to when he was just 9 years old. Something happened that would shape his entire life. His 12-year-old brother Brent got very sick with a blood disease called aplastic anemia. The doctors said Brent needed a bone marrow transplant to live. Dvid stepped up to help save his brother. He went through a painful procedure where doctors had to extract bone marrow from his hips. His father later said he could hear Dvid screaming from the pain. The doctor had to lean into the drill to get through the bone. It was horrible for a 9-year-old to go through. At first, it looked like the transplant worked, but then Brent got worse. He developed other complications and infections. When Dvid went to see his brother in the hospital, he froze at the door. The person lying there did not look like his vibrant brother anymore. Brent died, and David's world fell apart. This tragedy destroyed his family. His parents' marriage could not survive the loss. They got divorced years later. David's father even moved out of the house for a whole year after Brent died. The happy family Dvid knew was gone forever. Dvid dealt with this pain by shutting everyone out. He became very quiet and private. He built walls around himself that most people could never break through. Golf became his escape. On the golf course, he could control everything. This control became very important to him because everything else in his life felt out of control. His girlfriend Julie noticed that Dvid had a special ability to make himself numb. He could pretend problems did not exist. Golf was his therapy and his protection from the world. He spent countless hours hitting balls, using the game to hide from his pain. Dvid's obsession with perfection made him one of the best golfers in the world. By 1999, he reached #1 in the world rankings. He stayed there for 15 weeks. Everything seemed perfect, but success came with a price. Dvid wanted to compete with Tiger Woods, who was known for his intense physical training. So Dvid started a very hard weightlifting program at the end of 1999. He wanted to add muscle and get stronger, but this decision would ruin his career. In 2000, Dvid hurt his lower back badly. The injury came from that punishing workout routine. He had to take 10 weeks off from golf. Dvid was heartbroken. He said it was ironic that he finally got his golf game where he wanted it, and then his body failed him. But Dvid made a terrible mistake. Instead of taking time to heal properly, he came back too soon. He was afraid of losing his edge. He started playing through the pain. This decision created a domino effect of problems. When you play golf with a hurt back, you change your swing to avoid pain. These changes become habits. Dvid's swing started to break down. His club face position changed. His hand path was different. He had to use his hands more instead of his body rotation. This made his swing less reliable. The back injury led to other problems. Dvid hurt his wrist, then his shoulder. He had knee problems and even broke a bone in his foot. His body was falling apart piece by piece. Dvid later said he suffered about 12 different injuries in total. His body just could not cope anymore. As if the injuries were not enough, Dvid developed another serious problem in 2003. He was diagnosed with positional vertigo. This condition made him dizzy and unsteady. The room would spin around him. He could not even drive a car for several days. Vertigo is especially bad for a golfer. Golf requires perfect balance and steady vision. You need to see the ball clearly and feel stable during your swing. Vertigo attacks all of these things. One expert said vertigo knocked a friend out for almost 2 years. Before we continue with Dvid's story, let me tell you about FUBO. They offer the best sports streaming service to watch golf and other sports. You can follow current players and legends in action. Check out FUBO for exclusive streaming deals and never miss the biggest moments in sports. After winning the Open Championship in 2001, Dvid felt something unexpected. Instead of joy and satisfaction, he felt empty. He called it a "what now" feeling. He said achieving his biggest goal left him less fulfilled than he imagined it would. This feeling was dangerous for an athlete. When you reach your biggest dream and it does not feel as good as you thought, where do you find motivation to keep going? Dvid had spent his whole life chasing that major championship. Now that he had it, he was not sure what he was playing for anymore. The physical problems made everything worse. Dvid started getting something called the yips. The yips are when you suddenly cannot do simple things you have done thousands of times. For golfers, it usually affects putting. Your hands shake or freeze when you try to make short putts. Dvid's putting fell apart. During his peak years, putting was not his strongest skill, but it was good enough. Now it became a real weakness. He could not make the short putts that every professional golfer needs to make. This problem spread to other parts of his game too. Dvid's confidence disappeared. He said he wished he had protected his confidence at all costs, but playing through injuries and changing his swing had destroyed it. Every bad shot made him doubt himself more. Every missed putt made the next one harder. David's problems were not just on the golf course. In early 2002, he separated from his longtime girlfriend after 8 years together. Losing that relationship hurt his mental strength even more. David also had legal problems with his sponsors. A company called Acushnet sued him in 2001. They said he broke his contract when he started using Nike products. The numbers tell the real story of David's fall. In 2001, he was ranked 3rd in the world and finished 8th on the money list. By 2002, he dropped to 15th in the world and 80th on the money list. In 2003, he fell to 211th on the money list. By 2004, he was 434th. David never won another PGA Tour event after his 2001 Open Championship. His last win anywhere was in November 2001 at the Dunlop Phoenix Tournament in Japan. That happened on his 30th birthday. His 30s would be much less successful than his 20s. In 2011, David lost his PGA Tour card. He only made 9 cuts in 24 events and finished outside the top 150 money winners. He tried to get his card back through qualifying school, but finished 72nd. His playing career was essentially over. David did show flashes of his old self sometimes. In 2009, he finished 2nd at the U.S. Open. It was amazing to see him compete with the best players again. In 2010, he finished 2nd at Pebble Beach. These moments gave fans hope that maybe he could come back, but these good finishes were rare. Today, Dvid Duval has found happiness away from competitive golf. He works as a golf analyst and commentator for networks like Golf Channel and ESPN. He gets to stay around the game he loves without the pressure of competing. David is married and has children now. He says he is happy with his family life. While he admits he has regrets about how his golf career ended, he has made peace with it. He learned that there are more important things in life than golf scores. Dvid Duval's life reminds us that athletes are human beings with complex stories. Behind every great performance is a person dealing with their own struggles. David carried the pain of losing his brother his entire life. Golf gave him a way to cope, but it could not heal that wound completely. When his body started breaking down and his mental game fell apart, David did not have other tools to handle the crisis. The same intensity that made him great also made his fall more dramatic. He put everything into golf, so when golf failed him, he had nothing left. But David's story is not just about tragedy. It is also about resilience and finding new meaning in life. He survived childhood trauma, reached the top of his profession, fell to the bottom, and found happiness again. That takes real strength. What do you think David could have done differently? How can athletes today learn from his story? Let me know in the comments below. And do not forget to subscribe for more stories about the human side of sports.